Begins, you know the drill. Again. Payday, Friday, payday, Friday, payday, Friday, payday, Friday. Working late, no debate. Punch that code, elevate, flip the trade, check the rate. Bulls run wild, still a fade. Payday, Friday, payday, Friday, payday, Friday, payday, Friday. Trade it, run that right there. Trade it, run that right there. Payday, Friday, payday, Friday, payday, Friday, payday, Friday, payday, Friday, payday, Friday, payday, Friday. Run it back. Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning, my little pancakes with a little extra dollop of syrup. Folks, I hope you're having an absolutely phenomenal day. It is a Friday, and as DJ Piper has let us know, it is in fact a Payday Friday. I'm very, very excited, not only for Payday Friday. I love giving away my money, especially when I've been trading like shit, you know. When you're at rock bottom, why not make it that much more difficult? But more exciting than that is I really do get jacked up for these marble races. I know you guys have been putting in hours of persistent training, just ripping it like diets, workouts, fasting, steroids, anabolic, catabolic, everything in between. Trend, Anavar. I know you guys get so ready for these marble races, and it's always a pleasure for me to be able to commentate the fastest racers in all of the land. Geez, I'm so ready for it. I'm jacked up. On top of that, maybe we'll even look at the market a little bit. I don't know. Like, I know most of the Friday streams are specifically really targeted for the race, but I guess in between or before the race, after the race, and during the race, we could talk a little bit about the market. But yeah, I'm ready for this. Speaking of the market, if you haven't looked at it yet, little bit of a warning, little bit of a PG-13 warning. But we're down. Yeah, we're down. That's what happens when Trump out of nowhere gives us surprise tariffs last night. And on top of the fact that the Fed's not going to be cutting rates until September, and then they had to revise jobs down this morning by over 200,000. Yeah, situation not the most bueno, brother. So we might be seeing a little bit of a high watermark being put in. Obviously, we did hit a new all-time high yesterday, but that might be it. We might be going into a bit of a contraction in the month of August. I want to remind everyone that the month of August is a bit different than July. I covered this in the update video yesterday. Shout out to everyone here who watched it, but the very quick TLDR is all of June, at specifically the end of the June, I was screaming from the mountaintops, bullish in July, bullish in July. Not only were we backed by the seasonality, but there were other various macroeconomic effects that told me the money is to be made in the upside in July. That was right. We crushed it in the month of July. August is a bit different. Just because we've been on such a hot run does not mean it's going to continue. In fact, the longer a run goes, inherently the closer you are to the run ending. And I'm getting a little bit of a spidey sense situation that we might be at the end of this run. Now, it's contingent on a few things. Basically, if earnings kept going, if the macroeconomic reports kept going, that would easily keep pushing us in July. But as of this morning, we're starting to see some cracks in the system. Coinbase missed on earnings. Amazon missed on earnings. Granted, Apple did do well on earnings, so a little bit of a mixed bag there. Those were some of the major ones from last night. Actually, even MicroStrategy did pretty decently. That fast forwards to this morning, where we got the unemployment report, and that one's not so good. But think about what that actually means. We're kind of on certain data reports. Remember a year ago, a year and a half ago, when I was always pitching to everyone that we're living in the upside down? Bad economic reports were good because of what it meant for monetary policy. There's certain things that you could currently consider to be in that particular lens, because right now, as we covered on Wednesday, there are two Fed governors who dissented, and they basically said, hey, we should do a 25 bips rate cut now. Then most of the voting FOMC members were saying, you know what, we're just going to wait like a month or two, and we think we're going to do a cut in September. And then there was the other extreme group who's basically saying, no, we want to see a serious weakening of the economy before we cut rates. And that's the relationship. They actually want a weak economy to cut rates. That's what they're looking for. And as of this morning, we got some bad economic numbers. The jobs number this morning, unemployment was fine. It was at expectations, if you're wondering. But the jobs numbers were a little bit off for this month. The big issue is they revised the last 2 months, and they revised it down cumulatively over 200,000 jobs. So in a weird sense, like, that's a weak economic sign, like once again, coming back to what I was saying about cracks in the overall foundation. But then the market is kind of interpreting it as, well, actually, that means that it's going to increase the chances of a rate cut in September. And we're actually already seeing that this morning. As soon as those numbers came out at 8:30 a.m. ET, the numbers in terms of what are the chances of two rate cuts by the end of this year actually spiked up. So, like, I know it's kind of confusing that we're, in a weird sense, looking for bad economic signs to increase the chances of rate cuts by the end of this year. And right now, it is actually being fully priced in that we will, in fact, have 2 rate cuts by the end of this year. That's how bad the economic numbers were this morning. So that's pretty much the TLDR for the show. You guys are pancakes with an extra dollop of syrup. I am wearing a acid washed purple shirt because, hey, it's a Friday. We're going to be doing a marbles race, and the casino's already going a little bit wonky this morning because I guess that's what the casino does. And my personal thoughts and opinions on the market are, we're starting to see the initial signs of a turn. What we are seeing right now, all of the signs in terms of we ripped up to an all-time high, the signs we're seeing right now do not guarantee we do sell off, but every time we do sell off from an all-time high, this is how it starts. So it's kind of one of those arguments that, like, all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares, like that type of a situation. You might want to draw that out on a diagram to really, like, put it into your head. All squares are rectangles, not all rectangles are squares. All sell-offs do start like this, but not all the times we get these signals do we actually sell off. So it's one of those squares are rectangles, but rectangles aren't circles type of an argument. I think you guys understand what I'm saying. All right, so let me go through all this. And first of all, pin to the top of chat somewhere. I don't know, wherever the top. I don't know if you're watching me normal, upside down, inside out. Maybe you're not even paying attention to the screen. But somewhere in the digital sphere around you, you're going to find a link to sign up for today's Payday Friday giveaway. You know what? That's a perfect place to start today's show. Today, Payday Friday giveaway, August 1st, we're giving away a $150 of cold, hard cash. I'm willing to convert it to Fartcoin if said winner very much wants it in Fartcoin. So I just want to put that out there. Right now, it is based in US dollars, but I will convert it if the winner of today's race demands it. I just want to throw that out there. But anyway, $150 cold hard cash and 3 different accounts on Vanquish. And just so you know, Vanquish is once again sponsoring today's Payday Friday giveaway. And right now, if you use that code Goonie, you're going to get 35% off and a free reset. This is another sim to funding company. All the other ones we talk about are for futures. This is the one that I deal with that is for options. So if you like options trading, you're like, you know what, futures trading, it really isn't for me. If you want to do options trading, sim to funded, this is the best place to do it. And obviously 35% off and a free reset if your first eval does not go that well with the code Goonie. Once again, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. So shout out to Vanquish for sponsoring it. Obviously, we were going to be doing the marble race, and check it out. And we're going to be doing some trades there. My account on Vanquish is actually doing really well. I'm only $700 away from passing the eval. So pretty stoked about that. You need to get up to 55K. So maybe with your help, I'll be able to pull this one off. All right, so how are we looking this morning? Dow futures dropped 400 points after Trump issues new tariffs, jobs report ahead. Well, it came out not so good. The SPY currently down 1%. The Nasdaq down 1.15. Coinbase absolutely yeeted off the top of a building because of how bad its earnings were. Amazon down 7%, also doing pretty poorly. Apple doing pretty decently, actually up 2.3%. So it's not like all bearish. At one point, MicroStrategy was up. That's actually now down 2%, so actually doing better than coin. How far did, and even Bitcoin's now falling down to 116. Folks, you can almost sense it. There is a certain feeling, like we all have that somewhere deep in our stomach, that it feels like the tides are potentially turning right now. So just be careful. I'm not saying you should take your entire account and YOLO it in one direction or the other. I'm more of a fan of, okay, if you think we are clearly shifting trends on whatever time frame you care about, maybe take a beat. Be confident that the new trend is actually showing itself, and then obviously always look for a low risk, high reward opportunity to take advantage of. But let's get specifically into why things are getting a little bit funky this morning. Trump tariff blitz unleashes delayed shock to global economy. So we were all sitting there happy we survived the month of July, happy we got through most of the week, happy we survived a Thursday. We were all sitting there late last night, eating some SpaghettiOs, counting all of our well wishes and all the things we should be grateful for. And then all of a sudden, we found out things were going a little bit south. Trump announces 40% tariffs on trans-shipped goods and new rates for dozens of countries just before the August 1st deadline. Ruh-roh, excuse me, Taiwan, 20%. Cambodia, 19%. Thailand, 19%. Malaysia, 19%. Vietnam, 20%. Switzerland, 39%. Indonesia, 19%. This was all popping off last night, and it was on the heels of, I guess, really Powell and the Fed not cutting rates. And then, of course, you have Trump popping off. Jerome, quote unquote, too late Powell, a stubborn moron, must substantially lower interest rates now. If he continues to refuse, the board should assume control and do what everyone knows has to be done. This sounds good, and I'm sure it's riling up all the MAGA supporters in here. And hey, half the time you're going to be right and half the time you're going to be wrong. But I want to be clear here. If the board were to take control, we would still be exactly where we are. This isn't one of those, the Fed, the FOMC does not operate in a dictatorship. It's not just what Powell says goes. There's voting members. There's 12 of them. One of them in the last vote abstained. Just actually wasn't there. I don't know if she's sick or something. I have no idea. Actually, I should look into that. There were 11 votes last time. 9 of them said keep the rate constant. 2 of them said maybe we should cut. And they even explained, we know it's going to come next time. We just want to put it out there that we're not really unified anymore. So this is very much a political thing to rile people up, when in reality it wouldn't change anything. If Powell resigned today and it was just the board voting, we would be exactly where we are. Like, it wouldn't change anything. The only thing that would change the situation is if the entire board resigned and then Trump put in people who basically guaranteed them that they would cut rates. But this idea of like cut them substantially, we should be down by 3%. Even the most extreme people, the two dissenting voices that agree with Trump, only want a 25 bips rate cut, 0.25%. As in they're off by like a magnitude there. So this is becoming a weird political thing of people are thinking that Powell is exclusively against Trump, when in reality, that's not the story. And I get it, especially if you're a Trump supporter, you're going to get like uniquely mad at me for saying that. But in reality, how much do you know about monetary policy? How much do you know about monetary policy history? How much do you know about how the Fed works? Why in the world do you think that Trump knows more about a well-functioning economy than the entire FOMC board? There's some certain things in this particular storyline that literally just don't pass the litmus test of logic, and this is one of them. So as much as he wants to pop this off and people like it and they're riled up against Powell, please understand that if Powell had resigned 2 days ago and was not involved with the board whatsoever, the vote, like, we would literally still be here where we are. Matt simping for Powell, oh my God, gross. I'm not simping for Powell. I'm trying to explain reality. I've never met the guy. He might suck. He might be awesome. I have no idea. Maybe he's cool to have a beer with. He's a big fan of the Grateful Dead. Maybe he likes to take edibles and listen to music. I don't know. Maybe he's awesome. Maybe he's horrible. I'm trying to explain the actual reality of the situation of if Powell existed or did not exist, if he was like, it doesn't matter. Like, you could literally take this guy out of the equation and we'd be exactly where we are. Now, if you think it's right or wrong, that's up to you. I'd obviously argue that maybe you shouldn't be exclusively getting your monetary policy information from Trump. Maybe you should get it from the person who isn't leading the country and maybe a little bit more of an unbiased source. So whether you think it's right or wrong, that's up to you and your research on the situation. I'm trying to explain the fact that Powell, in his position or not in his position, would not change this. It would not change this whatsoever. We would be exactly where we are. But on that particular note, I do want to clarify, Bowman and Waller, two Fed governors who did have dissenting voices just yesterday, gave us a little bit more insight into why they decided to dissent. And with the weak jobs number this morning, I think this is actually pretty insightful. There's nothing wrong about having different views about how to interpret incoming data and using different economic arguments to predict how tariffs will impact the economy. So it's that tariff thing right now that's confusing everyone. If the tariff situation were known and were not in such flux, we'd probably already have a rate cut. So the irony to this situation is it's honestly Trump himself, well, the Trump administration, of why the rate is still so high. They're keeping it high because of the uncertainty of tariffs. So as much as Trump is pissed off that they're not cutting rates, he's the reason they're not cutting rates. If the tariff situation were fully known, was not in flux, was not malleable, if it was etched in stone and we knew what the tariffs would be, they would be able to punch those numbers into the equation, and we would have probably at least by now a 25 bips rate cut, maybe even a 50 bips rate cut. So the irony to this whole thing is, as much as the president is freaking out that they're not cutting rates, he is the reason they are not cutting rates, which I don't think the world is really appreciating. Like, what Trump wants the most, he is the person who could have controlled this. If all of these deals were struck before this most recent FOMC meeting, it would be a done deal. It would be a 100% done deal. As you're about to find out, the reason they are not cutting rates is because the tariff situation is unknown. Like, this is literally from the FOMC board itself. Anyway, using different economic arguments to predict how tariffs will impact the economy. But I believe that the wait-and-see approach is overly cautious and, in my opinion, does not properly balance the risk to the outlook and could lead to policy falling behind the curve. This is all from Waller, just so everyone knows. Further, Waller insisted that the inflation impacts from President Donald Trump's tariffs have been small so far and could continue in this vein. So this is actually pretty stupid. And he knows this. I think it's somewhat taken out of context, but they've been small small so far. The reason the impacts of tariffs have been small so far is because going into this, all of the importers imported a shitload of things. They knew tariffs were coming. So just now, we're just getting into the import effects of higher costs. So once again, just now, getting into late July is the first time that we're actually getting readings from the economy of imported goods that have been impacted by tariffs. Because going into this, all the importers realized what was going on, so they imported a shitload, and we covered that months ago, and basically to sidestep all of these tariffs. So of course they've been small so far because the goods that have been impacted by tariffs are just now making their way into the economy. Both he and Bowman did not advocate for the kind of dramatic cuts Trump has pushed. So once again, even the most extreme members in terms of supporting Trump's view on this are still not really agreeing with Trump. They just want a 25 bips rate cut, not a 3% rate cut. Waller suggesting something more gradual, cutting by as much as 1.5 percentage points at a slow pace as the committee monitors impacts for policy easing. Similarly, Bowman backed gradual cuts, as she also said that tariffs are having only limited impact on prices. No shit. We all know that it is. With tariff-related price increases likely representing a one-time effect, it is appropriate to look through temporarily elevated inflation readings. I see the risk that a delay in taking action can result in a deterioration in the labor market and further slowing in economic growth. And not far off on that last statement, because right here, we just got a major negative revision literally as of this morning. June revised down from 147 to 14. May revised down from 144 to 19. So what Bowman was popping off about, honestly, kind of right, because we're already seeing that weakening. That's a huge miss. They had to revise it down by cumulatively 200,000. 200,000. That is crazy. So in a weird sense, the fact that we are getting such weak economic numbers means that now the chances of rate cuts are higher. Traders resume fully pricing in 2 Fed rate cuts by the end of 2025. So this has been a whipsaw situation. After the speech by Powell on Wednesday, it actually was looking at maybe 1 rate cut. There was a certain chance, but it wasn't that high of 2 rate cuts. But now, because of the weak economic numbers, we're back to actually getting this rate cut. So definitely quite a bit of whipsaw this morning. Other than that, you should probably know that we came in at 4.2%. in terms of unemployment. But even this, they expected 106. We came in at 73. So even last month's jobs numbers were bad. They're probably going to revise this down even more. And then the 2 months before that, May and June, even worse than we anticipated. And inflation in Europe coming in a bit higher than anticipated. So remember, you have to consider inflation, and you have to consider, I suppose you should be considering you have inflation in one hand, but then economic strength in the other. And sometimes those are bucketed together. But in this particular situation, you have to consider them differently, because what the Fed is going to be looking for is for inflation to stay constant or to go down, but then also a weakening economy. So in this particular situation, and it's very nuanced, you're going to want to take both of those into separate account. But anyway, this is all becoming much more complicated due to what we found out from last night. All right.
It's really been a wild morning and a mishmash of numbers, and some of them are pretty much in line with what we were expecting. So that 10% baseline, not 15, as sort of has been bandied about the past few weeks, and then the highest rates being around 41%. Still, of course, a lot of questions about China, for example, some of the larger economies as well, that are on sort of a different track than this reciprocal levy. So that would be Canada, Mexico, as well as China. So we still don't have the final levels on that. But overall, this takes the average U.S. tariff rate to about 15.2%, which is the highest since World War II period, as well as significantly higher than the roughly 2% it was at before Trump came back for a second term in 2025. And the countries run the gamut. There were small economies, Some large economies as well, of course. Some of them we knew, 25% for India, 15% for South Korea and Japan. But there were some puzzling ones as well, like Laos getting hit and Myanmar, Burma getting hit with some sort of the higher level, so closer to 40% levies. So these are all sort of the final numbers, at least for now, that we have. And some of these countries, of course, are going to keep negotiating, which has been the style so far this year.
Well, speaking of which, Canada's been hit with a 35% levy, Katya, but Donald Trump's saying that he's going to talk to Canada's Prime Minister, Mark Carney.
Yeah, it's a big question. I mean, this has been one of those trade deals that have been perhaps the most contentious, with the leaders going back and forth, first with Trudeau, now with Carney. And the country just reported second quarter GDP growth that was actually quite positive. So this poses quite a substantial risk. The two leaders will continue negotiations, and this kind of shows how these rates are not necessarily final. So yes, markets do have a bit more certainty now that we have a level that's been published from the April 2nd levels. Some of them are a bit better than those levels. Some of them are a bit worse, like Switzerland, for example, got hammered. But for Canada, for example, this is one of those that will likely continue because they also have the USMCA. So they need to have Mexico at the table as well. So we'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah, let me just bring you some breaking lines from Switzerland. The Swiss government noting that 35% tariff with
39,
regret.
not
they
35.
say that they're still seeking a negotiated solution with the US when it comes to trade, but that tariff differs significantly from the draft, they say. So Switzerland hit with these tariffs, but Mexico, Katya, getting a 90-day reprieve. How come?
Yeah, Brazil also got a reprieve, we heard earlier this week, and as well as exemptions on some of its goods. And it goes to show just how important these trade ties are for the U.S. economy and for U.S. consumers. Because at the end of the day, what happens with inflation, what happens with prices, with households, as well as with companies that rely on components as well as finished products, like autos would be a big one from Mexico. There's also significant pharmaceuticals coming from countries like India. And so having that reprieve would just allow for more time to negotiate rather. And so perhaps this is sort of what Trump has really been doing, which is announcements, negotiation, another announcement, a bit more negotiation. So we're seeing a bit more of that, the goalpost moving forward just a little bit. So,
even though
we'll probably be talking about this again on Monday with some more announcements to come.
That they would not extend it. But nonetheless, here we are without an extension. Here, let me get rid of this really quick. All right, I need to go through this part rather quickly. Remember, we're also in earnings season. Last night, Apple, pretty decent. Amazon, not so good. MicroStrategy was good. It's falling off. Coinbase was horrible. That's the TLDR. Apple reports biggest revenue growth since December of 2021. I'm kind of getting the vibe that Apple's falling off. It was the main stock, the biggest stock for quite a while. Feels like it's kind of falling off. Amazon falls as profit outlook cloud growth spook investors. Basically, you have Microsoft Azure taking their market share. MicroStrategy beats earnings estimates. The stock rises, but it did not hold, now selling off. Coinbase shares tumble as second quarter revenue disappoints. And then Reddit stock soars as company posts fastest quarterly revenue growth in 3 years. Bada bing, bada boom. Remember, sign up for the newsletter. You can pin to the top of chat in the description of the video. It's 100% free. Comes to your email inbox every single Sunday. I break down what's going on in the market, cheat sheet for the earnings, cheat sheet for all the major macroeconomic events. I do want to let you know that at 9:45 and 10 a.m. today, we do get more data drops. And then with respect to seasonality, today is clearly bearish. Over the past 27 years, the Bulls have only won 1/3 of the time, as in the Bears have won 2/3 of the time. And more recently, it's getting even more bearish. Is that the end all be all? No, but it is important to pay attention to. And then I update everyone on how Piper's doing, who actually, she got clocked yesterday. It was a messy scene yesterday, unfortunately. So just want to throw that out there. Obviously, today we are doing the Payday Friday giveaway. Shout out to Vanquish. Make sure you guys are creating an account there so you can get the free credit. $150 cold hard cash. We're giving away 3 Vanquish accounts, which is sim-defunded prop trading. And also, I just want to show you guys what I did. Look at this. I decided to apply the strategy to each one individually. Oh, no. Wait, did I get disconnected? I did. No. Faster. All right, let me re-enable these. I had to go through every single one. This is 180 strategies turned on. I'm actually nervous if this will or won't work today because that's a lot of strategies. That's a lot of strategies that are cooking. So I don't know if my system will be able to handle it, but we're going to see how it goes. We're going to see how it goes today. We're going to see if we could get out of the gate. We're going to do some options trades as well.
Target filled.
All right.
Target filled.
All right, out of the gate, a little round of applause there. Out of the gate, strong, not as much slippage as we're used to. Way less slippage than yesterday on attempt one. We're starting off strong. We're starting off strong. Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. All right, we're starting off 180 strategies. Yeah, because basically I have 6 strategies, but I had to apply it to 31 different accounts. And that,
Order submitted.
All right, this one, how much slippage was there? We'll find out in a second.
Target filled. Target filled.
All right, okay. Not bad. 180, 150, 145. A little bit of slippage there. All the apexes were good. The take profits, $30, and then we had Tradeify that had a little bit more. Whoa.
Target filled.
All right.
Target filled.
Okay. 300. All right. The slippage is getting a little bit. Fuck. Like, okay. It wasn't as bad as yesterday. Yesterday's slippage was horrible. Like, I'm starting to figure it out a little bit. But that, like, I mean, the highest one was 300. The lowest one is 218. That's a 33% difference. So, like, I don't know, folks. I don't know. Okay, it's better than yesterday. I can't complain. We got to focus on the good. We got to lower our cortisol levels. Hey, I should just be happy I'm green. I'm up $200 on 30 accounts. I'm up 6K, and it's only 1 minute into the day. 1 minute's worth of work, and I'm up 6K. You shouldn't complain about that. But I probably will find a reason to complain about it. I probably will. You got this, Mass. Once you fix it, it's moon time. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know I seem like a crazy person. I know I seem like just an insane person trying to figure this out. But, dude, I'm telling you guys, we're going to come back to this stream one day, and you're going to be like, yeah, he seemed fucking nuts, but, man, he cracked that. Dude, if I can just figure out how to really get all my code to work together, fight slippage, do it all. Like, dude, if I can just get everything to work together, I'm just going to be printing money. You guys are going to start calling me Daddy Pal because I'm going to be the fucking money printer. Like, I get it. I seem insane. If I were you guys listening to me, I'd be like, yeah, that's a little insane. This guy's a little bit fucking crazy. But I really think I'm going to get the last laugh on this one. I really do. I really, really think I'm going to be able to get the last laugh on this one. I'm going to be the money printer. You do seem a bit insane, to be honest. Hey, I guess we all do. Me and the boys are rooting you on in prison, Matt. Big Mike loves your slippage coding. You're rooting me on from prison? I appreciate that. I do find that my most loyal fans are currently incarcerated, so I do appreciate that. Have you seen the currency trading cards of money printer Jerome? I have not, but I don't know what you're talking about, but it does sound interesting. All right, let me show you guys. Let me give you a quick rundown of what in the fuck is going on. All right, we don't need this. Where are we at right here, dude? We're getting clapped at open. We're getting cooked. We're getting cooked at open. How bad is Coinbase? I almost got Coinbase calls right at market close yesterday, but then some wise words of wisdom in the Discord prevented me from doing it. So shout out to everyone in the Discord for saying, hey, that might actually be fucking stupid, Matt, because you guys saved me a lot of money. It's down 13%. I cannot express how close I was to getting calls. I was so incredibly close to getting calls. So to all the people who stopped me from being too degenerate in the Discord, I appreciate it. I think I was feeling myself a little bit for making the 20 grand on Meta. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dude, we're getting cracked right now. Bearish, bearish, bearish. Ooh, look at this 4 hour. We're sinking like no other. We're sinking like no other. What's the flow look like? Here, let's look at the options flow early this morning. Let's look at the options flow. All right. Actually, not as bad as you would think. The Mag 7's taking a bath. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Dude, all these alerts are going off. That cannot be good. All right. That is not what I'm looking for. Folks, if you are in the Discord, I'm cutting my meta position as quickly as I can. I'm cutting it as quickly as I can. Here, I will update that for everyone who's not listening to the stream. All right. All right. I got out of that. I got out of that. All right. Let's see. Let's see what we have cooking this morning. I'm a little afraid to do too much right now. Coin, we'll see. Here's a look. The Mag 7 not looking the best. The Nasdaq's also getting hit. S&P 500 just started to dive. I do want to remind you folks, in 10 minutes, we have a manufacturing report. And then at 10 a.m., we have more numbers as well. So at 9:45 and at 10 a.m., we have some reports. So if you are a day trader, scalp trader, you might want to obviously be paying attention to that. Here are my key levels. Jesus, we're way below the transition zone. We're way below the low from yesterday. We are coming up to support. My reach target would be all the way down here, 6215, 6,200. Here's a look at the get. That's a lot of negative gamma. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. You guys better call off Chef Boyardee because he is overcooking the pasta right now. This is going from al dente to al fucking blown up my accounts. Jesus Christ. All right. You have some potential support coming up here. 6240, 6250. I think I marked off 6250. You have some potential support, but Boyardee is getting cooked right now. He is getting cooked. All right, we're going to zoom into this. We're watching what's going on. Dude, SPY Delta's getting smacked. Nasdaq's getting smacked. Dude, Mag 7's getting smacked. All right, well, while everyone's getting spanked, don't forget to sign up for the Payday Friday giveaway. We're going to be picking someone off of Rumble, someone off of YouTube, and then obviously 3 people off of Locals. This is what you could throw your hat into Arena for right now. It's just signing up for Locals. Just do what this other 51 people have figured out how to do. It is pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. If this is your first time signing up, yes, there's a free option, but there's also a premium option, which you could get for free if you just use this code Goonie. I actually haven't talked about the Discord in weeks now. Just make sure you apply that promo code Goonie and you get full access to everything for an entire month if you use this code. Make sure it's in there. Hit subscribe monthly. You'll be good to go. If you like it, great. Stick around. And if it's not for you, just make sure to cancel your account within the first month and you're never going to get charged anything. So not only do you get access to today's Payday Friday giveaway, once again for free, you get full access to the Discord, Piper Strategies, my trades, voice chat, everything going on. A lot of fun stuff. So like I said, test drive it for a month. If you like it, stick around. If it's not for you, I completely understand. We are a bunch of degenerates and maybe that's not necessarily your cup of tea. I don't judge. Not that this necessarily impacts any of you. I do want to point out that I just got my archery level to 90. So now my attack, my strength, my defense is actually still 80. But so my attack, my defense, and my archery are all 90. Does that necessarily have an impact on the markets? No, but I just want to let you guys know that I'm actually like doing stuff with my life. Like I'm finally like achieving at the level I should be achieving at. My next goal is to get my magic up to 90. Like I'm just trying to get it all up to 90. You know, I don't really do any quests. I don't really do any of the lame ass skills. I just kind of do the nightmare zone whenever I'm streaming with you guys because it's the easiest thing. I only have to check it like once every 15, 20 minutes. And I just let the nightmare zone play out for hours and hours and hours. Do I access to your goon content if I become a goonie? No, you unfortunately have to pay for my goon content. That's great, Matt. I'm sure Megan will be so proud of you. I hope so. And it doesn't really matter though, because it's not like I ever think about her like at all. Like I barely even think about her. She like it is only on like super rare occasions that she like crosses my mind. You know, you guys get it. Like I don't even think about her anymore. Like totally at all. So Matt, you are finally reaching your potential. Maybe. So effing hungover and tired. That's an interesting thing for a guy to admit to his boss. Dude, what a loose ship I'm running here at the business. For my employee kicks in the door to say hi on the day. He's like, I'm so hungover. Dude, well, the business that I am running, my one employee comes in. He's like, dude, I am fucked up. Yeah, we don't really take things too seriously here at our job. We have a very metaphysical approach to this business where we're like, why does it matter? Nothing matters anyway. Nothing matters anyway. All right.
Target filled.
Oh, I was just going to say we should be trading again.
Target filled.
Oh, fuck yeah. Dude, hell yeah. Look at this. Dude, this is why I can't be mad at my employees, because when things are cooking, dude, why the fuck is there so much slippage? 450 all the way down to 290. If I were president, I would ban slippage. Nip slips allowed. Slippage in the marketplace not allowed. Those are the two. I have a two-prong approach of why you should vote for me for president. And that's it. That's my entire campaign. There's nothing else. If you ask me about taxes, I don't know. I abstain. If you ask me about foreign policy, I don't know. I abstain. If you ask me about healthcare, I don't know. I abstain. There's only two things I care about. I will spend 4 years as president of the United States to support one form of slippage and to fight the other form of slippage. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else whatsoever. I'm not going to go to meetings. I'm not going to NATO meetings. I'm not going to G7 meetings. I'm not negotiating with terrorists. I am doing nothing else. Nothing else whatsoever. I will spend 4 years. I will spend 48 months. I will spend 208 weeks exclusively destroying one form of slippage while promoting the other. That's it. That's what I'm. And if you don't vote for me, well, I'm not calling you this, but I'm just saying the other group of people who didn't vote for that in the past were Nazis. Now, I want to be clear. I am not insinuating any of you are Nazis. I'm just saying historically, there was one group of people in the past who didn't vote for what I am promoting, and they were Nazis. So take that however you want it. I'm not accusing anyone of being anything. I'm just saying, what camp do you want to be in? What side of history do you want to be on? When I write the history books after my presidency, when I'm writing my tenure, when I'm writing my memoir after my tenure, do you guys want to be on the right one or the wrong one? Which side do you guys want to be on? Matt Pan, probably. What's everyone looking to take a trade on? Friendship, I would say. The terrorists win if you don't vote for Matt. Exactly. Matt shops at American Eagle. Isn't that for teenage girls? Like, I know the whole Sydney Sweeney thing is like pretty spun up right now, but honestly, do they sell boy clothes? Isn't that exclusively, am I wrong? Do we have any people in here who have ever bought clothes before at all? I thought American Eagle was for teenage girls. Am I wrong on that one? I'm not really a clothes guy. Actually, just the other day, my wife and my mother-in-law were making fun of me of how much I don't care about clothes, and I always look like a schlub. And verbatim, my mother-in-law said, do you find it interesting? She said this to my wife, and they thought it was not offensive, but I've actually cried about it every single night since I heard it, was, once again, my mother-in-law said, Do you think it's, and she said this to my wife, just so you guys have the full context. Do you think it's interesting that Matt puts so much effort into his hair and puts no effort into his clothes? I don't know how to take that. And I don't think it was meant positively. I don't think there was a positive connotation to it whatsoever. So I'm not campaigning that anyone takes their clothing knowledge from me. I don't know the last time I was in a clothing store. I did recently buy dinosaur-based swim trunks off Amazon, though. My newest pair of swim trunks has Triceratops on it. It has a T-Rex on it. It has that long neck motherfucker on it, too. A Stegosaurus. So that's pretty sick. That's actually the last piece of clothing I bought was the dinosaur-based swim trunks. I have daughters. You're thinking of Aerie. Who the fuck is Aerie? Diminishing returns since shirt and shoes go a long way. Do you have pants on? I have sports shorts on. Because after this, I'm going to hit the stair stepper. I'm going to do what really matters in this world. Are they made in China? Fuck yeah, they are. Oh, it's a brontosaurus? It's not a stegosaurus? Did I get my dinosaurs wrong? Brontosaurus. No way did I... Brontosaurus. Brontosaurus. Was it this bitch? Ah, it was this. What's a stegosaurus? Yeah, wait. What the hell's a stellosaurus? I thought this was a triceratops. Have I been lied to my whole life? What is this ugly bitch? What the fuck is a... Are they just making up new dinosaurs now? What the fuck? Dude, wokeism has gone too far. They're just making up new dinosaurs now. Call me old-fashioned. But if it ain't a T-Rex, I ain't coming. The Triceratops now identifies as a Stellosaurus. I get, dude, I don't know. They're playing real loosey-goosey with these dinosaurs. When I grew up, as a classic kid in the 90s, we had a set amount of dinosaurs, and those were the ones that mattered. Our scientists weren't playing loosey-goosey. Weren't playing loosey-goosey. Rude. What was I rude about? I don't know what these dinosaurs are. No matter. You have cool dinosaurs on your swim trunks. Thank you. Someone gets it. Someone finally gets me. Obviously, we should check in on that report really quickly. Let's see how those numbers came in. All right. Manufacturing, slightly higher than expected, but nothing too crazy. We have more manufacturing numbers in 12 minutes. More manufacturing numbers in about 12 minutes. All I'm saying is we had a well-known set of dinosaurs before we all got COVID shots. I'm not trying to draw connections that don't exist, and I know correlation doesn't mean causation. I'm just saying that before the COVID shots, we had a reasonable amount of dinosaurs that we all appreciated. And now after the COVID shots, seems like there's no rules in the game. Just throwing that out there. I'm not saying, don't you guys cut this and be like, oh, Matt said the COVID shot produced more types of dinosaurs. No. I'm just noticing that the timing, little bit suspicious. Gay dinosaurs lick a lotopus and a megasaurus. And this is from Dixie Normus. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. Matt's been lied to by Big Dino. It feels like Big Dino's been lying to us. Do you think the first person... Okay. 2 questions, if you guys don't mind. I know you guys aren't necessarily good with 2 questions, so I'll take it one by one. Do you think the first person who found a dinosaur fossil was just like, what the fuck? Like, was it just some farmer and he's digging, he's just plowing his field one day and he runs into a femur the size of his tractor and he's like, what the fuck is going on? That had to be shocking. But I don't think it's the most shocking. I think the most shocking thing ever, like imagine this, like truly just for 1 second, let my soothing, nasally voice enter your ear canal, calm down, get grounded, shut your eyes, and please imagine this situation. Imagine hundreds of years ago, you're an explorer. You're walking through a jungle-based climate. There you are with your machete, your hot as fuck looking hat. You have on an unbuttoned linen shirt and you're crushing your way through the jungle. You're with me. And you can feel it. Like, folks, just shut your eyes and go with me on this one. You can feel yourself just like it's a hot, humid climate. There's some bugs. You're getting through it. You're looking for El Dorado. And then all of a sudden, you see a colorful bird fly up. First time ever. You're seeing this parrot. And you're like, wow, I don't even know what the name is, but I'm going to name it a parrot. Looks cool. I dig it. We're in this new climate. Haven't been there before. So all of a sudden, everything is new to you. And you see this bird and you're like, wow, what a beautiful, majestic avian. And then out of fucking nowhere, it talks. I don't think we appreciate the fact that the first person who ever had to hear a parrot talk probably shit itself, himself, herself, whatever self, itself. Think about that. Like truly appreciate the fact that at some point there was an original human who heard a parrot say words and probably lost his fucking mind. No one would have believed it. We all look back at the witch trials and we're all like, oh, I wonder how that got started. Maybe that. Maybe it was the crazy person who's like, yo, that bird can talk. Seriously, like you have to appreciate the fact that at some point we would have put that person in an insane asylum. Like actually appreciate that. First time we're like, dude, Frank's got to go. Frank has got to go, man. Like, you're crazy. Birds don't talk. We've never, ever heard a bird talk. So they just took Frank out back and put him down. And then the second person is like, actually, oh, what? Dude, I don't think we have enough appreciation for how unsettling that entire event could have been. Welcome to my TED Talk. My name is Matt. And these are the results of not getting enough attention as a child. Just want to throw that out there. Maybe parrots spoke before humans. Well, how would they know what to say, Phil? They wouldn't have anyone to mimic if they were talking before humans. That doesn't make sense. The dinosaur stocks and bonds world and Gene's coin worlds are colliding. You never know. This is not looking so good over here. I'm trying to not do any swing plays into the 10 a.m. Dude, shit is getting rock. Look how red this all is. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
Order submitted. Target filled.
Dude, I am cooking. Wait, why did I not make more money there? Wait, what? Wasn't this one already at 450? Did that one not make money? Was there more slippage than I anticipated on that one? Wait a fucking second. This one didn't trade. You motherfucker. I'm going to find you. Uh-oh. Error. The same strategy is running twice on one account. Fuck me. Which means it's not running on another account that it should be running on. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 79, but then it's added back into 79. Why? Why do this to me? All right, so I fucked myself up a little bit on that one. This is what happens when you have 180 strategies. 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Huh. Well, that could have been way worse. That's a user error. I accidentally applied the strategy twice to the same account. Whatever. At least it was the biggest account, 79. Wait, it didn't fire on 80? Huh? Why is it now not showing it on any of these? What is going on in my life? This is exactly how the first parrot listener had to feel. Well, there's still slippage, 450 down to 290, but whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right, I am waiting for this 10 a.m. announcement so I can do some swing plays and also so I could do some sim defunded on Vanquish. I only need to do one more good trade here on, really, I don't know if I want calls or I want puts. Obviously, I'm leaning towards puts, but things are getting clapped. Look at that. There is an upside gap fill to 6327.64, the low from yesterday. And it looks like we have some support coming up at 6201. So you might want to be paying attention to that one. 6201. It's technical support. It is a big open interest level as well. Right here, net OI. Right here, 6201. You actually have some positive gamma right there in that zone. So I just want to see what's going on. I'm trying to be patient and wait for this 10 a.m. announcement. I'm trying to be patient. Apple's actually the only one holding green after I had good earnings, but there is a legit shot that this is now a high watermark and we have a little bit of a pullback and base before we pop, or who knows, maybe it becomes catastrophic sell-off depending on what happens with the Fed and Trump and tariffs and stuff. But as I talked about, I'm not even Monday morning quarterbacking at all. For any of you guys who watched the update video, which I seem to not be able to. How do I go to my own channel? View your channel. No Monday morning quarterbacking. The update video yesterday, right here. Holy fuck, 17 hours ago. This video, I even said in that one, hey guys, like this actually might be the high watermark, and I laid out the case in which it would be the high watermark. So definitely not Monday morning quarterbacking this one. I wish I prepared for it a little bit better for my own trades. I didn't by any means anticipate that Trump would be increasing tariffs kind of as a surprise thing. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Tesla's down to 300. Ouch. Ouch. Meta, there's a downside gap fill to 708. Coin, huge gap down. Microsoft, also downside gap fill to 516. Nvidia coming off its all-time high. Avago, all-time high. Palantir, everything's coming off its all-time. Dude, you have Tesla legit breaking down. Do I want to play this? Is that an actual play? Everyone shut your mouth. Everyone shut your mouth. Tesla, 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 Tesla. $290. You have long calls at, who has long calls at 290? Interesting. Oh, dude, Tesla's getting clapped right now. Can it hold 300? 290. Oh, this is interesting. Will it be able to hold this? Huh. What's everyone's thoughts on this one here? Am I being crazy or am I finding something? This one's kind of interesting. Huh. Oh, Tesla. Oh, Tesla, oh, Tesla, oh, Tesla. I just got the worst fucking fill ever. Dude, that just cracked. Okay. Little bit of a problem here, team. Strategy should have fired. Why did it not fire? All right. That was not right. Did I fuck something up? Towers fired. I was going to call this strategy Twin Towers, but I thought you guys would be offended by it. Some of you have soft skin. All right, that's a problem. 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 All right, so we're going to disable everything. All right, cool. Turn those off just to not get myself into a bit of a pickle where I'm like, what in the world is going on? All right, so I'll have to dive into why in the world that did not fire, which I will figure out eventually. But first, all right. Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. You know, another day just grinding it out. Another day. Another freaking day. All right. I think I got this to where I can manage what the fuck is going on. All right. Little bit of a detour. Nothing bad. Nothing to freak out about. No reason to freak out, folks. All right. Let me see what this is. Let me see. All right, we did this. Lots going on. So I did make a new position here. If you're in the Discord, I'm putting it in. All right, cool beans. All right, we did that. We could go to the 1 minute. We don't need anything too fancy here. All right, so another report just came out. Let's see what the skinny on that situation is. A little bit of, well, it dumped, and now it's trying to fight back, and we'll see. Tesla not holding 300, actually down by quite a bit, by 2.88. Coin is down the most. It's getting smoked. Palantir is down by a good chunk. Palantir is down by a sizable, or Coinbase is down by the most, dude. 16%. Jesus. right. Do I want to do this? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do this? Is this the trade I actually want? We're getting a bit of a pump here. Okay, so we missed the one trade. That's fine. I just turned it off. That's the one that I was having issues with late last night. I don't know why I didn't fire anything. Generally, it was the second one that actually had a bit of a problem.
Order
We'll have to figure
submitted.
that one out. I just put in a pending order to replace that one. It hasn't fired. If it fires, I'll let you know what's going on with it. Obviously, as I always try to do. What? Damn. Wow, we're getting a decent spike in ATR here. RSI is getting pretty beat up, as you guys would imagine. All right, we're going to see what's going on. Here's a look at the options flow. The SPY is getting cooked all day. MAG 7 has actually flattened out on the 0 DT, but keeps going down on the longer expiration.
Order submitted.
All right, it's back in a trade here. This is not the right ATM. Not the correct ATM, unfortunately. All right, I'm going to have to watch this one for a second. I did the wrong ATM strategy. I was trying to replace the mechanical system, so I manually did what the mechanical system was supposed to do, except I picked the wrong ATM, which doesn't really matter that much because I could still manage it from here. But I don't know if I should.
Order filled.
What?
Order filled.
Where the fuck? Dude, I don't get these
Order filled.
take profit ones at all. What is going on? Dude, this is the issue of when I have to switch over to mechanical. This is where things go bust on me. As they
Order
literally just
submitted.
did. What the fuck happened there? Where was the order? The order was at 39. 39. Where did I get a fill? At 34, there was 5 points of slippage at 10:07 in the morning. The order was basically this breakdown bar right here at 39, 25, 39 flat, and it gave me a fill at 34, 5 points later. How the fuck does this shit happen? I don't understand how the slippage is getting... Dude, the bane of my existence is this slippage bullshit. And wait, actually, hang on. The tradeifys are still alive? I'm getting thoroughly confused, dude. This slippage. I don't know if it's the data. And if it is the data, I mean, I guess I could turn this over to you guys. Maybe some of you guys know this. Is the data... Has anyone like really taken a look at, is the data faster on Rhythmic versus Tradeovate versus wealth charts? Like something with this data is like just dog shit. And I don't know, like when I started this, I arbitrarily started on Rhythmic just because at that point I was trading on a PC, so it didn't really matter and it was slightly cheaper. And I knew at that point the argument for Tradeovate was that people were like, oh, I want to check on my phone, like that type of a thing. What I really, really just don't understand, like at all, is like, has anyone done a comparison of the two? Of like, no, wealth charts are the best fills I have found so far. Interesting. I wonder if they've like done a study of like which one, like I understand slippage to a point or two, and I kind of understand it, especially if it's like at market open. But to have a 5-point slippage at 10:07, that's just fucking nuts. That's absolutely ridiculous. And then you guys saw the other one of what was this, early last week, you saw the slippage of like 18 points at a 10 a.m. announcement. So granted, it was definitely because of, I guess, data, but like it gave me, it seems to do this thing where you get a fill at the wick, which I don't see this. See how it's right there perfectly at the wick. So even if you're not on this time, like it's almost as if it does this, the data flow doesn't know how to do market orders. So you end up getting a fill at the extreme. Of course, not for you if you're trying to get out, but like this is now the second time that I've seen this where you can have an order, and I had an order on this minute bar breakdown right here at 39, 25, 39, but then yet the fill is at the extreme of the bar. And I don't understand why it's giving you the fills at the extreme. I get that there's going to maybe be some slippage, but I really like the fact that it's perfectly the extreme, regardless of if it's 5 points or 18 points, like something's up there. I don't quite know how to battle it. My one thought of like maybe potentially of how to battle it, one thought is, we're getting a little bit of a pop here now. My one thought is maybe to use your signals, but instead of doing it on each tick, which for those of you who have used NinjaTrader before, you know what I'm talking about, of the difference between on each tick and on bar close. And I was thinking, okay, what if you have this signal being produced wherever you want the signal produced, whether it's a 50-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute, 1 minute, but then you actually have it fire on bar open on like a 10-second chart. I wonder if there would be less of a mess up there. They are stop hunting. They are definitely not stop hunting. And that even if they were, that would have nothing to do with this issue, like whatsoever. That's that. I don't know. That's like one potential workaround I was thinking about last night. One potential workaround. Okay, so what I could do here is disconnect this, so I don't have to worry about those. Okay, because these accounts are actually still fine. No, they're not. NVIDIA is bouncing close to high of day. Well, everything's finding a little bit of a bid past that 10 a.m. announcement. A little bit of a bid. I'm wondering if this is just a bounce up to 50 and then getting this rejection, because it sliced through it on attempt 1. If we start to see this fail, I might take advantage of some puts. Look at that. We perfectly bounce out off this level that I called out early this morning at 6215 right here. Like literally perfectly bounced. It happened at 10:02, 10:03. It's almost as if major open interest levels matter. Dare I say it? Dare I say it? All right. What I need to do is 1, 2. Okay. I'm watching for a rejection right here. I suppose going to you guys, do any of you, like, I don't know, do you have any creative, like, out of the box solutions to this type of fucking slippage issue? That's crazy. Why don't you give the alert and the entry? Well, you could do a limit fill, but then sometimes you're going to miss it. You could do it as a limit and saying, I want that. So for the entry, it's a stop buy limit or a stop buy market or stop sell market. And then instead of doing it a market, it could be a stop buy limit, a stop sell limit. That's like one workaround, but there is also a chance that it skips over you. So that's like part of the issue. So right here, for example, if you want to buy it at 940, when you right click, you could see, where was it? I thought, oh, duh. I need to click. Okay, so right here, say you wanted to buy at 40. You could do a buy stop market. So as soon as that is hit, it will just trigger a market order. Or you could do a buy stop limit, as in it's only going to get you a fill at that level. So that's obviously the different. And then you have sell limit if you were trying to get out. Sell MIT is market if touched. So if it's touched, then you have a market order. So that's like maybe one workaround, but I can't believe this. This is now the second time in 2 weeks that like I've shown you live that when you put in a market order, it almost seemingly gives you the extreme of the bar on some of them. And this one was to the tune of 5 points. The other one was to the tune of 18 points. All right. I'm still waiting on this touch right here on 50. We'll see. All right. The SPY's still looking pretty bad. If I had to guess, and I don't like guessing, I'd rather just react. I would guess it's going to get rejected here just because of how weak the options flow is. Mag 7 is showing a little bit more strength. The NASDAQ is actually showing the most on a relative basis, but the SPY is still pretty weak. Even this, they're using this little bounce to sell into it. I wouldn't necessarily be chasing this to the upside unless I saw like clear measurable improvement in the SPY delta flow. Even on this bounce here, it bounces till 10, 12, and then people are just using that as an opportunity to get more puts and to get out of calls. Yeah, so there's a clear divergence. The options flow is going one way, but the price is going the other. That can't last for long. And big players are net sellers here. Yeah, we're still bouncing. We're still bouncing, though. Interesting. I wonder. All right. We did take out some of these recent highs. 956, 951. We're looking at, what is this high? 947. Let's see. Dude, why is he buying on market or limit? We just explained that. That was just rewind like 5 seconds. I just gave like a 5-minute breakdown and showing people what the fuck was going on there. Why is it such a bad fill? Interesting. Very, very interesting. I'll have to, I don't know, maybe people have figured something out on Reddit, or like it's not necessarily that it's a wrong data feed. It's seemingly slow. I'm not saying it's slow to the tune of like, oh, you can measure it with your eyes and see that it's behind. It's still, I guess, like fast to like human perception, or if you're like swing trading or something, or fast enough, I should say. But to like scalp trading, it feels slow. Like awkwardly slow. It's crazy that Coinbase not long ago was at 420 and now it's at 320. Lost 15%. All right, I'm waiting. We're climbing up since 10:03. I'm waiting to see if this gets like just smacked. Like if it does, that's going to be the trade of the day, is waiting for this breakdown trade. Obviously, the bulls might be like, nah, we're cool, and like it's just a V-shaped recovery. But if they really are losing traction, this is going to be the trade of the day. Is like, whatever. We have some shorts, probably locking in some profits, maybe some people attempting to dip buy. And of course, it like, I'm not saying, obviously, it could go up, it could go down, it could go sideways. We're trying to assign the likelihood of all three of those cases. Of course, anything is possible. There's no such thing as a 0% chance. But what I'm thinking, especially, well, the Mag 7's still climbing, but see how crappy the SPY looks here? I'm wondering if it is climbing exactly up to this key level, 50, and it's just going to get rejected there. I wonder if people are paying this bounce from this open interest level to this one, and then all of a sudden it gets smacked. That's closely what I'm watching for. Of course, at any moment, people could start buying the SPY and we legit break out. The Mag 7 is showing strength. But if we see the SPY continue to show weakness and puke with respect to Delta, and we see the Mag 7 actually do the same thing, my confidence that this would be a rejection level would start to increase. So I'm like kind of attempting to monitor various things as this is playing out, but that's definitely one of them. That's definitely what I am looking for. The Mag 7 might be turning right there. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. That's 618. We're at 622. That's 13. Upside gap fill to 631. Edit alert. Crossing up. All right, we'll set that alert up properly. On the SPX, the upside gap fill is to 6327. The recent low is 6,200. The 50 EMA is at 6150. On the Qs, all right, none of these are doing what I need them to do. The upside gap fill to 563.87. The breakdown is at 551. And then the 50 EMA is at 543. Wow. IWM is actually below the 50 EMA. That's actually showing some legit weakness. Some like actual legit weakness over there. Bitcoin making a fresh low, 50 EMA at 113. Coin is just getting at alert, crossing up. Next low, maybe 294. Don't need this alert. What a disastrous earnings for it. Okay, is this the turn point? Maybe a little, like this is a pretty steep trend on the Qs. All I'm seeing is it did tag 50. Maybe it gets smacked, maybe it doesn't. I have no idea. I'm just doing my job and calling out the key levels for all of y'all. All of y'all. Is it actually going to get smacked there? Okay. What are we doing? 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 Gotta think, gotta think, gotta think. What is smart? What is dumb? What is in between? Right, all right, all right. All right, the Qs are like, it's so steep though, so I'm like hesitant to call that like a real trend line shift. I think the SPY is a little bit less extreme in terms of the angle, so this might be a bit more important. But what I find the most concerning is it literally bounced off one key level, went to the other, ripped up to it, and boom, selling right away. Like right away we saw selling. You could see the SPY here dip, not crazy though. The Mag 7 is just going flat. The NASDAQ did dip, but actually right now just got a little bit of a pop. Tesla bouncing ever since 10:03. NVIDIA bouncing ever since 9:50. Palantir bounced a little at 10:05, but kind of flat. Good price recovery, though. Microsoft is still bleeding off. Apple is just bleeding off. Netflix is actually bouncing a bit. MSTR was selling till 10:03, a little bit of a bounce right now. Meta sold till 9:50, now going flat. Avago, nothing. And then AMD, same thing. So we're seeing some things inverted right around 10, but not with like the highest amount of confidence, at least not yet. We're just kind of waiting on more data. What I find to be concerning is this right here. This is the third day in the row big guys have been selling. So yesterday, they sold into close. The day before that, they sold into close. The day before that, they sold into close. One little baby here. So clearly selling into close, a little selling into close, clearly selling into close, clearly selling into close. So in the past 4 trading days, we have 3 of which were clearly big guys selling into close, 1 day of a little selling into close, and today this is the most aggressive they've started off selling into close. Or like maybe this goes all the way to close, but from market open, big guys started selling. So I do find that a little bit concerning, if you will, that 4 days in a row, differing on their extreme nature, the bigger guys have been selling the aggregate of the New York Stock Exchange equal weighted. So are they bearish? Are they creating a legit bearish position? Probably not. There are going to be some creating a legit bearish position, but others, it's probably a good argument for profit taking as we keep pushing to a new high. They're probably just taking a little bit every single time off the table because that's proper risk management. So I don't think it's like all one side, all the other side, but obviously as those numbers keep stacking up, something's not so right. Something ain't so right. Okay. Obviously, I'm watching this trend line, and then I will also be here. Let me make this a color that you guys expect. Let's make this blue. Let's make this blue. All right, so we're marking out the intraday lows, and we're marking out the intraday highs. Intraday lows, intraday highs. Intraday lows, intraday highs. Okay. Great old don't have to trade every session. Well, that's very true. A lot of people feel the need to, but in all reality, I would actually argue over the past 2-ish weeks, ever since the July OPEX, there really hasn't been that much opportunity. There really has not. I would say since the July OPEX, the way the gamma structure and the overall option chain shifted and like just the crush of vol. So it was all this positive gamma, super low vol. It made it honestly really difficult to be long premium. And then on the other side of it, because vol was so low, it made it not even that exciting to be selling premium. Like maybe once in a while, a couple days here and there was like opportunity to do it. But holistically, the past 2 weeks, they're just price movement wise, there's been opportunity. But playing it via the options market, not so much. Yeah, you had certain earnings, but that's more recent. Like obviously you had Coinbase to the downside. You had Meta and Microsoft to the upside. Amazon slightly to the downside. Apple was within its expected move. I guess if you played against Netflix, that was somewhat of an argument. But a lot of these, like I'm kind of cherry picking here because a lot of them were within their expected move. So even if you played it in the right direction, you got crushed on like the IV crush anyway. So I don't know. This happens. Unfortunately, this period's a little bit more extreme than normal, but coming right out of a monthly OPEX, it's not the most insane thing to not have like that good, that useful of movement. So as much as whoever was just saying you don't have to trade every session and not every day is like built the same, you should also pay attention to where you are in the monthly cycle relative to the monthly OPEX, because that has a big impact. Generally, things can kind of get exciting the week before. They're generally very exciting the week of. And then all of a sudden, the next week following it's kind of an extreme. It could be actually amazing depending on how things shift, or they could be absolutely horrendous. So I don't hear many people talking about that of like, okay, I think we all know that like Mondays are different than Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But I don't hear many people, at least in the retail space, talking about due to the massive interest in trading options, especially on the monthlies and whatnot, you have to consider the week that you're in. Like the week of the month you're in has a huge impact. So as much as you can't really think of like Mondays the same as Tuesdays as Wednesdays, I don't even think necessarily you should be comparing all Mondays to each other. I think you should be comparing the first Monday of the month, the second Monday of the month, the third Monday of the month to all the other first, second, and thirds. I think that's a more fair way to approach it, especially recently. All right, we are once again at this level. I'm curious if it will or will not hold. But this is looking saucy right here. So clear amount of selling. It's flattened out, but from market open till now, that's bearish. It started selling yesterday more in the afternoon. This is one of the earliest times that we've seen them really get rocking. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. What was I doing? Okay, this one, none. Cool. Let's see how this plays out. Not a bad buy right here. You could have been long at 18, risking 15. You risk 3 points. Before you know it, you had this runner on this breakout. You definitely set your stop to break. Even that was a decent long. Once again, like your risk is in control. I'm not the biggest fan of catching a falling knife, but maybe as a mean reverting trader, if you saw this, I mean, technically it's a higher low. This is a bounce off a key level. That's exactly why I mapped this out before the market even got trading today. This is where I see interesting things happening. This is what I want to know. Is it going to have enough strength to get us back up to 70? Will it grind it out? Or is all of a sudden, see how like the velocity of this is now slowing down? Are the buyers running out and then all of a sudden we crack 39 and puke back down to 15? Obviously, if I had a crystal ball and I definitively knew which way this was going to go, I'd be a wealthy man. But no one can definitively tell you that, which is why we sit here and wait and try to glean as much information as we can from the secondary and tertiary data sets that we possibly can. So yeah, the delta's been cracked. We saw somewhat of a turn at 10:03. Yeah, the delta's been cracked. We've seen somewhat of a turn, but let's see. SPY and Qs have now broken above VWAP, and ES and NQ are still way below. I'm not sure which one to trust when they diverge this far. Well, remember, they're still like, it's not like VWAP itself is the end all be all. It's a piece of a puzzle. If you're trading just on that, you're going to end up losing money in the long run. There's no perfect indicator that you should be basing all of your trades off of. Like that's just a fucking crazy thing to do. It's literally just one piece. Like, okay, cool. Like that would be the way I would approach that. Let's just say systematically, that would be one filter of a trading system. It's not like you're not going to be profitable just trading on VWAP. That's not going to work. If that did work, it would be data mined away and all the hedge funds would be trading it and that edge would not exist anymore. Unfortunately, we're in a situation where all the quote unquote simplistic ones, like something as basic as that is buying on the cross or selling, like those are gone. You have to add in other filters to start to really identify the ones where, okay, that initial edge still exists, but maybe in certain circumstances it doesn't. It's really trying to like sidestep whatever the landmine is. We're seeing a clear pickup still. It's holding. The Qs, the Mag 7's leading the way up. The NASDAQ the NASDAQ's even losing some steam right here. The Mag 7 is specifically what's leading the way up. The question is this going to hold? We're at some pretty important levels. It might be breaking free here. It might be breaking free of this 50, which brings into question the 70. No, but VWAP is still my favorite one. I don't understand the point of a favorite or a not favorite. It's just math. If you're saying you have a favorite, that should mean that you think it's statistically the most informative. And then if you do believe it's statistically the most informative above other ones, you should have the data on that. Like, but if it, like, I don't really understand what that means. Like this is, guys, it's a game of math. It's very much a game of math. So if you're saying an indicator is your favorite, It should mean that it's statistically, mathematically in the market the most informative. And then from there, the question would be, how do you know it's the most informative? I would say you have to show me the math on it. And if you're saying, well, no, like I've seen it work here, I've seen it work there, well, that's just fucking stupid. That's really, really stupid. If you're just saying, well, no, it worked this time and that time and that's it. Well, okay. Come on, man. Like, what's the math? Show me the data on the past 60 days. Show me the data on the past 100 days. Show me the data on the past 200 days. That's it. If you're like, if you can show, no, the edge of this one is better than the others, cool. Okay, great. You did what you should do as an analytical, empirical trader. But if you're just ripping it from your gut, you're going to be like that same guy who's shorting SoFi, who Mr. Veg or whatever the fuck his name is, and you're going to lose all your money. And to clarify, in the past, I would give people a little bit more of a leeway of like, actually, like I've seen it work a lot and I've like kind of written it down in my journal and I'm collecting some data, but I don't really know how to code and do an extensive data like analytics project on it. That's fair because not everyone has a coding background. Not everyone has a stats background. That's completely fair. I understand. Where it breaks down is the fact now that there's various AIs that will do all of that work for you. So you really don't have an excuse anymore. So whatever that, if you're like, no, I use VWAP. I think VWAP's a good indicator. Well, when you say good, you should put some numbers around it. And now you don't have an excuse to not put numbers around it because all you have to do is load the data into AI and say, hey, do an extensive like analysis of this. Is there actually an edge? That's like, you don't have an excuse anymore. You really, really don't. It's honestly not even that difficult. You just have to do it. Like you could figure that out with an hour of your life. Like it would take less than an hour. Just go buy the data, load the data in, and done. Matt, I'm not trying to convince you. I'm saying it works well for me. Things don't work well. That's what I'm saying is you're trading. That's the dumbest fucking comment. It works well for me. Bro, we all have the same VWAP. It either works well or it doesn't. It's not different from person to person. That's the dumbest fucking comment. I feel like your people in chat still just don't get it. Math is math. That's how this game works. We all have the same reading. We all have the same information. If you are using the same indicator, it should work the same for all of us. There would be no difference for it working for you or for me. If there is for some reason a difference, even though we're using the exact same thing, now you're not in the world of a good strategy. You're fucking, you're playing with fairy dust at that point. It either works or it doesn't. Like those are the two options. There's no, oh, it works for person A, but it doesn't work for person B. Like it's just math. It's just a basic equation. You're incredible. I know I am, but that doesn't stop you from saying dumb fucking shit. And I think that's just so important. Like, I really do. Well, I don't think it's important that you're saying dumb shit. Retail traders are taught wrong. I will be the fucking martyr of this effort. Retail traders are taught incorrectly. They're taught in a way where that statement of like, hey man, relax, it works for me, like it doesn't have to work for you, that is so insanely wrong. And it's because all the education surrounding retail trading is just straight up fucking wrong. Like it is not taught the way that it should. It is the complete opposite end of the pool of how things are actually done in Wall Street. So you're coming into this conversation with whatever education you have that is from the retail space. But the only educators I see who approach retail trading education in the same way I do is Tasty Trade, truly. And I don't know how many of you guys know about Tasty Trade, but they're kind of in the option space, specifically selling premium. But they're the only ones who approach it with numbers. That's it. They just come in. These are the numbers of the situations. Here's your edge. Here's your variance. And it's just a pure approach in a purely mathematical way where they know over the long run, they're going to be net profitable. They're the only other ones I know of that do it that way. And then yet so much of what people think, it's just dumb fucking things like that of like, hey man, I heard one thing from VWAP and it works for me. Well, if it works for you, it should literally work for everyone. Like, it's just math. Like, it's just a mathematical statement. For example, you should, if you're trading VWAP, you should, let's say you like trading VWAP on Tesla. Let's say you like trading VWAP on Tesla with the 10-minute bar. It's not hard for you to figure out, okay, on Tesla, if the daily chart is below the 50 EMA and the 10-minute chart closes below VWAP and it's in the first half of the day, if I go short for the rest of the day, that could be a strategy. I don't know if it's profitable or not, but that's something that you could test, and you would then have the exact odds of that situation. You could look at all the times that has historically played out of the larger time frame is bearish, hence the daily chart being below the 50 EMA. Then from there, if you're trying to day trade, you say, okay, we already know we're in like a bearish bias. And then from there, the 10-minute closing below VWAP, as in the average trade volume of the day, well, actually, they're not looking so good. And as long as it's in the first half of the day, I want time to play for the rest of the day. Once again, I don't know if that strategy is profitable or not, but that's the exact same thing where all of a sudden, you're putting exact guardrails on what your trading strategy is, rather than this dumb fucking comment of, well, VWAP works for me. Well, okay, when's it work for you? Like, specifically, when's it work for you? Specifically, when does it not work for you? And in reality, I'm saying that hypothetically because Chris has no idea when it does or doesn't work for him. But for all of you who are maybe a little bit more interested in this, that would be the way you approach it. That would be the exact way you approach it, of like, you come up with this trade hypothesis of like, okay, I think when A, B, and C align, I can make some money. So you look at all the times historically, A, B, C, and D, and E, and F, and G have aligned. You care about whatever variables you do. You throw that all into AI, and you just basically say, hey, does this work? Does it not? And when you do this, you're going to get discouraged because your first 99 ideas are going to suck. Folks, this is coming from a person who has spent thousands of hours backtesting strategies, doing this type of analysis. It's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be so brutal. But you do it because on that 100th time, you're gonna find something that has like a legit edge, and you found yourself a little mini money printer, and then you just take advantage of it, take advantage of it, take advantage of it. And people don't want to put in that effort. They think the effort is just signing in the morning, like fucking watching some stupid fucking video about a 15-minute Orbo trade. They don't know the odds of it. They don't know when to trade it. They don't know when to trade it. So inherently they trade it every single day. It works until it doesn't. Then they blow out. And then they're like, oh, shucks. And then you go into like a little bit of a mental spiral and you're like, oh, like I should have done this, that, the other thing. And then you buy another account and then you go back and then you do the exact same thing once again. And I will always campaign on two major things. First thing, retail traders are taught incorrectly about the market. It is basically Bayesian probabilities. That's all the market is. That is all the market is Bayesian probabilities. Hang on one second. When you're in a certain situation, what are the odds of like the next situation? It's not going to be 0. It's not going to be 100, but that's the way to approach it. Hang on. I am changing some things up really quickly, as quick as I can. Hang on. Fuck, that did not get a fill. Come on. The cues are starting to show a bit of weakness here. Okay, got a fill. All right, if you are on the Discord, I just moved some things around right about here. Right about here. Right about here. Where is my Discord? Discords. Edit. Okay. One more final thought. And people haven't picked up on this for whatever reason. So, even this, who were we picking on? Chris with the stupid fucking idea of VWAP. Oh, it works for me. Even if you're the person who does not want to do this like extensive research or anything like that, you could, to throw it back in my face. Like, I'm literally giving you guys the rubric of how to prove me wrong when I'm telling you you are not trading with a strategy. Like, I'm giving you the rubric right now. So if any of you were paying attention, you could have been like, you know what, Matt, I actually don't know any odds on VWAP. I don't know any odds on the day of the week. I don't know any odds on RSI, on standard deviation, on MACD, on any of that. You could easily say that. You could be like, dude, I don't know the odds, but I do know one fact about the market. You could easily say, I know one fact about the market, and I know the market on any time frame is normally distributed below the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, the bulls win 54% of the time, and the bears win 46% of the time. On any time frame less than the daily, it's almost perfectly 50-50, almost perfectly 50-50. So with that in mind, knowing that the chance of the next bar being green or red is about 50-50, you could easily just say, nope, I know it's about 50-50. So whenever I see XYZ, I put in my risk. This is my extreme. And I know that I have roughly a 50-50 chance. So as long as my reward is slightly more than my risk, in the long term, I should be profitable. That's the easiest way to throw it back in my face, and yet still no one's ever done it. I'll be like, hey, like, what are your odds about XYZ? Oh, I play off this EMA. I play off this SMA. I play this with fucking Keltner channel, with Bollinger Bands, whatever. I'm like, oh, what are the odds? And people are like, oh, I don't know. Like, it's just my strategy. I'm like, well, how is it a strategy? Well, it is technically a strategy. It's just a strategy that you don't know if it's profitable or not. So what you could always do is be like, no, this is my strategy, and I don't know the odds, but I know that the market is normally distributed. I know that there's a 50-50 chance. I know my risk is less than my reward. So as long as I play this time and time again, I'm going to be net profitable. Like, you could always just do that. Like, generically, as long as you are steadfast in that strategy of I am risking $100 and I'm going for at least $100, and you do that time and time again with a proper appropriate bet sizing relative to your account value, you're gonna be net profitable. But then they just don't do that. Matt, does Markov chains work for trading? 100%. There's actually a lot of quant-based strategies that inherently they're working off Markov chains. Yeah, but trading with a system is so much better. Change my 0TT experience mentally. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you can improve that because instead of being 50-50, if you do the research on whatever, VWAP, RSI, MACD, whatever it is, all of a sudden you might be like, no, this actually works 70% of the time. You can identify weird edge cases where something is whatever, more or less likely, and you just go from there. Like, that's 100% possible. 100% possible. But even if you don't, you're just basically starting off at a 50-50 situation, and then it just becomes a game of risk to reward management. Tesla's getting a nice V-shaped recovery. Basically bouncing off of 300. Technically tapped 298, but it is it's knocking on the door of disaster. It saved itself from disaster. Look at that. Below the 50 EMA, below the EMAs in general, almost cracked the trend line. It did take out this recent low at 300. It's flirting with disaster. It definitely is. Could be a fake out breakdown. Could be like, who knows, maybe it comes Monday. Maybe it bounces right out. Once again, 50-50. You could do the odds of, hey, what is the on the first day that Tesla closes below the 50 EMA, what is the return over the next 5 days on average? What is the median return the next 5 days after this happens? And from there, you start to get odds. But without knowing the odds, you basically just call it 50-50. It's not going to be that far away from it. So maybe you like it, maybe you don't. And then it just comes to, it's a classic game of risk-reward. Classic game of risk-reward. And I don't think retail traders are taught that way. Retail traders are taught in a way that there's like some secret puzzle that if you were to figure it out, you could make money all the time. And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but that does not exist. There's no such thing as a a perfect strategy, making money all the time. The best people in the world are only right half the time. It's about half the time, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. We're actually starting to see some legit weakness right now. Let's go to this. Yeah, SPY is falling over. Mag 7's getting clocked right now, starting at 1047. Oh, wow, I am way behind. We gotta give away some money. If you haven't already, sign up for the giveaway right here. Just do what the other 74 people have figured out how to do. It is pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. You still have time. I will come back to this last. So start doing that. Like I said, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And let me get things rocking so I can pick people off of Rumble, so I could pick people off of YouTube. Let's get rocking. Giveaways. Random number. Next. Okay. All right. So as you can see, I am not running it yet, to be clear. It's gonna be a number between 1 and 150. All you guys have to do is guess it. The first person to type in the answer and guess it. And as you're gonna see, when I hit done, it doesn't even show me it. So we're gonna find out. But we are gonna be rocking in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. We are going. It's okay. Jason Landry got it. Jason. So YouTube. Jason, do not leave chat, because if you are the winner, we're going to need to get your information. So do not leave YouTube chat. If you do leave YouTube chat, we're going to have to double up the prize next week. So please do not leave YouTube chat. All right. Random number generator. We're going to go between 10 and 25. 10 and 25. 13. Lucky number 13. 13. Lucky number 13. Okay. Let's drag it this way. All right. We are doing 13 comments past Francis Barrett. 13 comments past Francis Barrett. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. K Crane, same thing for you. Do not leave chat. If you are the winner, we're going to need to reach out to you for your information. K Crane 2025, do not leave chat. Do not leave chat. All right. How many of you figured out how to sign up for this? What was the total number? The total number was 77. So between 1 and 77. All right. 36, 23, and 55. All right. Let's get all of those people. All right, we are sorted by oldest. There's 25 per page. So this one right here is 25, 24, 23. Boomer Brad. Locals, hang on. Boomer Brad. You are the first competitor. Next one is 36. 25 per page. So 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Dina Dibba. That is a crazy name. Dina Dibba. I like it. Dina Dibba. All right. The bottom of this page is 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. Bearded Ape. Bearded Ape. All right, so Boomer, Dina, and Bearded Ape, you guys are all the people selected from locals, which means you also get a free credit on Vanquish to trade with them. So make sure you sign up and have a Vanquish account, and then they'll be emailing you your free credit. So just so you guys know, Boomer, Dina, and Bearded Ape, you all got a free credit to Vanquish. So check that out. Obviously, a shout out to Vanquish. All right, yeah, we are starting to turn. Actually wanted to kind of take advantage of this. Do I think this is going to be like a fall? How serious do I think this is? How serious do I think this is? Do I think this is going to like fall? I mean, that's bearish. 9. None. Like, is this just that lower high? It's going to get cracked, or are we bouncing off of this?
Order filled.
All right. I went short on 2. I'm short at 45. All right. We're going to collect 1 on the overshoot here at 10. All right.
Order submitted.
Perfect. Okay. This is exactly what I want. All right. Short at, what was it? I went short at 44.25. I went short 2 contracts, and I'm trying to buy one of these at 10. That would be a 34-point gain, 600 whatever dollars. And then basically I'll have 1 runner. That's the goal. That is the goal. That is the goal. That is the goal. All right. Let me get this. Where are we? All right. Let's get marbles booted up. Let's get old marbles booted up. Yes. All right. As that is booting up, just so you guys can see, the big players are still selling. Momentum, bearish, 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 bearish. Yeah, that's not looking the best there. Tontos and tauntettes. All right. Where are we going? Continue. Race. Let's get all of our people in. Competitor 1 from YouTube is Jason Landry. Competitor 2 from Rumble is K Crane. 3 from locals is Boomer. 4 from locals is Dina. And 5 from locals is Bearded Ape. All right. Finish. All right. The track we are doing is going to be a random track. We are doing Coils of Power. Looks like we are ripping this one on Coils of Power. I just want to make sure we have our music ready to go for this. Remember, all the music is 100% free. You can find it in the description of the video. It is just tendies and tunes. All the music you guys hear and love, 100% free. We give it away to all of you. So let's get rocking here. Can you guys see what I'm seeing? You can see. All right. All right, so congrats to Boomer, Dina, and Ape for already getting a free account from Vanquish. Make sure you sign up to Vanquish so you could get the credit. If you don't, you're not going to get the credit. So make sure you sign up. You don't have to buy an account or anything like that. Just register on their system. And other than that, right now on the line is $150 of cold, hard cash. We have Jason from the land of YouTube, Dina, Ape, and Boomer from the land of locals, and K Crane from the land of Rumble. Now, before we get going, please cast your votes. Who do you think is going to win? Like, if you're betting people, we get it. You're all betting people. What is it? Who do you think is going to win? Who are you pulling for? And hopefully, at minimum, they all survive. Hopefully, they all survive. All right. With that being said, we are going in 3, 2, 1. Who's going to get the first drop? Dude, this is a perfect song. Whoa, they're ripping it with colors. Who's getting the first drop? Jason's leading. Oh, K Crane. Oh, Jason making the first move here, followed by K Crane, followed by Ape, followed by Boomer. Where's Dina? Dina, you got to drop. All right, K Crane leaning, Jason, Ape hot in pursuit. Jason leading the way, getting some fancy green pass behind him. Jason is leading, K Crane followed by Ape, followed by Boomer. Boomer going on his own path. Will it pay? Oh, we're teleporting, folks. Where the fuck are we all going? Where'd they go? Folks, we haven't had this before. Boomer now in the lead, getting a cool pink path behind him. Boomer! No! Ooh. All right. R.I.P. Boomer. It happens to the best of us. All right. Our first casualty. All right. Are we getting power-ups or something? Everyone. K Crane, dead. Ape, Dina, and Jason is up to you. It's becoming very quickly a bloodbath on this particular map, to be honest. I'm sorry about that. All right, we have Ape and Dina going at it. Dinah? Call you D. Ape's still alive as well, though. Ape, Jason. All right. Ape is in the lead. Bearded Ape from locals. And Jason's just doing his own thing, apparently. Where is Jason? Jason's on a completely different life path at this point. All right. We have Ape and D battling it out. Uh-oh. D just got frozen by a green lightning bolt. Uh-oh. Ape. All right. They're running into these dice things. Oh, they have to avoid the teleports here. Who's going to do it? Ape. Oh, Ape is so close. D, can you avoid the teleports? D, can you avoid the teleports? D, you won. Dude, Jason had it. He jumped a little too early. Or Ape had it. And Jason, really, at one point. D winning. This is an interesting map, I have to admit. I don't even know if the others are necessarily going to finish. This is something. Yeah, they're running out of time. The teleports just keep setting them back. But D, the victor, by a country mile. Time is counting down. I don't even know if these other guys are going to finish. They're, you know, you got to give it to them. They're competitors. They're fighting their heart out. They're actually on the exact same twisty-turvy. All right, Ape. This is pretty much your last shot. Pretty much your last shot to get in. You have 11 seconds. Will you finish? Ape, can you make it to the finish line? Oh, got in. All right, winner, D. Wow. Jason, K Crane, dead. Super dead. Boomer, also dead. Folks, join me in a round of applause to our competitors and a special round of applause to D. I will be reaching out to you later today to give you your $150 of cold hard cash. But then please don't forget Boomer D and Bearded Ape sign up on Vanquish so we can credit you an account. One of those, like an actual sim to funded account. So please check that out. Oh, things are starting to turn, it looks like. Things are starting to turn. Oh, I forgot. It locked in. Sick. Okay. First one locked in. Easy peasy lemon squeezies, folks. Easy peasy lemon squeezies. 44. I am short by stop market.
Order submitted.
All right. Easy as pie. Locked in, roughly a 1 ATR move, actually more than a 1 ATR move. So I sold 2, locked in 1. I sold at 44, bought one back at 10. So that was a gain of 34 points. And now I have a runner. I have my stop at break even, not going to cost me any money. And honestly, I could actually move it 34 points higher and still be break even on this trade, or I could guarantee myself that $600. And hey, if it pukes today, it pukes, but not a bad trade at all. Not a bad trade at all. And it feels as if we might be heading back down here. Tesla tried to full trip it back up to 307, watch 300, SPY watch 619, and Q's watch 551. I think I need to do one more trade. 80. What trade do I want to do? What trade? Hang on. I gotta think, which is dangerous for me on a Friday. I don't really like doing the most thinking on Fridays. I do not do the most thinking on Fridays. Oh, well, I'm not even logged into my brokerage on this one, so that's... Hey, that's fun. Hey, that's a thing. Hey, that's a thing. That is a thing. All right, how do I want to do this? 11. Where do I want to get involved with this today? Where, oh, where? Where, oh, where, oh, where, oh, where? Oh, where? Oh, where? Oh, brother. Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. All right, we're going to see what we could do over here. We're going to see what we can do to the overall market. We're throwing in some orders, actually some ballsy orders. But hey, viva la loca. Hey, sometimes you just have to risk it. All right, let's do this one. Let's do this. And let's do, no, we already broke that down. Where's another extreme we could mark out? I'm running out of extreme readings. That one we already tapped. That one's slightly, all right. It feels like we have to go all the way to there. Jesus. This is just spiking down. Same thing here. All right, we will do this. We will do this. Where's another reading? Nope, not deep enough. I guess we're talking about 22.5. Jesus. I guess 22.5. I'm really chasing this one. Okay. So we sold hard. We popped lower high, maybe a higher low, maybe a vomit. You never know. And because you never know, that's exactly, I actually might get clipped here. But if I did, it's all right because I already locked in that profit. So I went short 2. I'm protecting myself. And the great thing about futures is there's no pattern day trading. So you could easily get back in. So this is a protective thing. It's a runner. A lot of the times, 60% of the time, almost 65% of the time, my runners don't make any money. Runners, that's kind of what runners are. Is I locked in my profit, great. I took 30 points. If it breaks down, great. I have a runner. If not, if it rebounds, okay. It didn't cost me anything. That's why the stop's at break even. So you can't really be, I know you want every trade to make money, but you can't really fall in love with your runners, at least the way I do it, because 2 out of 3 times they are knocked out at break even. But it's still worth it because that 1 in 3 times, if you catch the runner, it could be so asymmetric in terms of the gains that it's still kind of worth it just to see if you could catch anything interesting. So I don't know. I'll wait it out, see how it wants to play. It got really close to knocking me out. It got up to 41. My stop's at 44. We'll see. We'll see. I'm just trading on these 3 accounts right here, the Tradeify accounts, to see what in the world happens. Okay, well, could be a lower high. Well, it's definitely a lower high. This could be, I just got stopped, just so everyone knows. So I made 600 on that. I was able to ride it from 44 down to 10. And then if this shows weakness, guess what? I could run it back. And then if it pops, well, I got out and it didn't cost me anything anyway, so there's nothing to cry about. Here what do we have? A little bit of a dip. Mag 7's getting hit, actually. How are the big guys playing it? The big guys are still selling. Folks, I mean, obviously do what you want. It's your money. I'm not your mom, but it seems dangerous. Definitely seems dangerous. So obviously, I guess just be careful, folks. Definitely be careful on that one. Jesus. Please be careful. I beg of you. If you're trying to chase this, if you don't have to be the hero trying to buy the dip, like you're fighting, well, the SPY's picking up a little bit, but you're now fighting the Mag 7. Those two are kind of inverted. You're fighting what the large players are doing, which are just selling. Like your life, I'm telling you folks, your life's going to be made a lot less complicated. It's going to be a lot more simple for you if you just trade with the trend. So anyway, that's what I have for you right now. It's Friday, so I'll be posting an update video on Sunday. If you want to join up with the Goonie Trading Discord, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Your first month is free. Shout out to Vanquish for sponsoring today's Payday Friday giveaway. Use that code Goonie to get 35% off and a free reset for all of my options traders. Great way to trade some options. Other than that, this might be the high watermark. We're in a new month, which generically brings about quite a bit of new seasonality. We are going from a bullish to a neutral seasonality. We got some bearish reports this morning related to jobs, and the employment numbers were not good, but the market is now interpreting that of almost guaranteeing at least 2 rate cuts. So we're in definitely a funky period, and so much of it is going to be reliant on what in the world is going on with tariffs. And remember, today is the day of the deadline for everyone, which is why we got the surprise announcement from Trump last night. And I thought maybe we would get some announcements today of like, hey, actually, we struck more deals. But as of 11:09 this morning, we're not hearing anything yet. So I would say the major thing to pay attention to right now is going to be how does the market really react to the recent negative news related to Trump's tariffs and the continuation of said trade war. To be fair, recently, whenever there's been a spike in trade war stuff, it's quickly squashed, and then before you know it, the market pops. But once again, that's what's been happening from the end of April to the end of July. You almost wonder what's going to keep the market going. And right now, prices definitely seem elevated. They definitely seem frothy. The way I was more than willing to chase a pump to the upside in June and July, I have to admit, on my own trading, on my own account, I'm now at the point of, it's a little bit more questionable because we've moved quite a distance. So please be careful with all of that. Please, please, please be careful. All right, that's what I have for you. Best of luck. Crush it. Update video coming out Sunday. We'll be streaming once again Monday. Be safe this weekend. If not, have a lot of fun. Have a couple of Hugo Spritzes. Other than that, crush it. Happy Friday. I appreciate all the good vibes. Love you guys all. Peace.